Right-wing group known as Beitar has been using AI, hundreds of hours of footage, to identify pro-Palestinian protesters. This has come out with TRT World, and there's a couple of other publications that have written about this. And this article from Times of Israel reads, members of the U.S. branch of Beitar Zionist movement are trying a new tack against anti-Israel protesters on campuses using artificial intelligence facial recognition technology to identify foreign students involved in the protests in hopes that President-elect Trump will eventually deport them. From the U.S. Office of Beitar, a right-wing movement founded in 1923, has amassed a large repository of video footage from college protests over the past year. Glick said, a team of professionals is using facial recognition software and relational databases to identify foreign students appearing in videos. And this post from TRT World mentions that in recent months, Beitar and other groups in the country have offered bounties to identify pro-Palestinian students, offering in some cases $500 per name. And I think there are so many implications to this. There's already the understanding that during those pro-Palestinian protests around the US, there was already all sorts of repression. I went to the campus in my city, and as I was leaving, I got stopped by a cop van with 7 different people in it, and they got out and stopped me for like 15 minutes and asked me if I had weapons. The precedent, the context in which we're in, is already one that criminalizes and dissuades dissent. And if we have tech companies being invested in this, if we have an administration that is more invested in criminalization and xenophobia more than ever, and this isn't a thing where I want to say, like, they're going to go after them and they'll go after us. We should be caring about people that are targeted who have different documentation statuses in this country, because the same tactics they use against them is what they use against people in other countries. And as they're trying to weaken everyone's right to dissent, anti-repression is going to be necessary. Understanding the impacts of Quintel-Pro and state surveillance and how we can use security culture in our organizing spaces to protect each other. Because if the state wants to be overtly against protest, what do we do? How do we react? And these are a lot of questions that I've been thinking about. I run a podcast called The Dugout where me and my co host talk about this. I run a YouTube channel where I'm doing a Direct Action 101 series right now. And definitely in the security culture video, I want to dig more into how AI and technology might be impacting the ways that we should or shouldn't be protesting. Because it's just necessary. Like, this news is just, I think it's only, I'm curious how things are going to go, honestly.